Hello everyone, I am once again with you with a new news item. I had shared my first video yesterday, and being the first time, there was some issues. My friend suggested that I should try to sort out those issues. Like my voice was slow, and people also suggested that I should not make lengthy videos. It is for inconvenient for the viewers to watch such a long video. That is why I have changed my track today, and you will notice the departure from the past. Now, come to the point. Yesterday, the video was long, and the last news item that I presented on my channel, News Simplified, was missed by people. I will separately post it on my channel. But yesterday I talked about India and China border. I talked about the India-China border up to 1988, when the then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi visited China, and in fact he was invited by China, and there the border issue was deliberated. It was a good dialogue between the two leaders, but after that, so many things changed. As you know, I had mentioned about one particular event in 1979. The then defense minister, sorry, foreign minister of Janata Dal government, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, visited China and tried to normalize ties with Pakistan and China both. It was welcomed warmly by China, not because China had a lot of keenness to have established better ties, but it was because it had a fear that India might join the Soviet camp, and that is why they warmly welcomed Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee's friendly overtures. It was in 1979, as you know about that. After that, in 1988, as I have mentioned earlier, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, the then Prime Minister, was invited to China, and both sides agreed to move ahead from the unpleasant memories of the past. It means the Indo-China War in 1962. China could have, at this stage, when they talked with our Prime Minister, pushed for the swap strategy that was uh, proposed by Premier Zhao Enlai when he visited India in 1969. But Rajiv Gandhi stressed upon mutually acceptable and reasonable settlement of the border question. After his visit, there was a long pause between the relations to revive once again, and there was a political volatility in India as well, because the subsequent governments of Chandrasekhar and Narasimha Rao, they were in minority, and after that, in 1991, Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated, as you know, and here comes the year 1992. In 1992, both the governments were busy. India was pursuing its liberalization under the leadership of Narasimha Rao as the Prime Minister, and the then Finance Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh. On the other side, China was also opening its market to the world. It means both the two things were happening at the same time. They were happening simultaneously. There was a congruence between the two events. Now, come to another point. India and China both felt the need for peace and tranquility for the unhindered furtherance of their economic goals. When people are setting out economic goals, they want growth in life, they want to make progress, they want to settle disputes and not engage in unnecessary quibbles and disputes that may hamper their progress. And this realization from both the sides that border questions should be discussed and settled at the earliest was realized once again. As you know, yesterday I had told that there is a mechanism of JWG, Joint Working Group of military officers who meet at times when some friction points arise in the border areas. They meet and try to resolve the issues. There were many meetings, such meetings, multiple meetings of JWCG of military commanders took place, and trade points were opened between the two countries. Consulates reopened in Mumbai and Shanghai. All these developments happened by 1991. Then came the year 1992, sorry, 1991, 92. Then came the year 1992. The then Defense Minister of India, Sharad Pawar, visited Beijing, China, and the two sides agreed to exchange scientific, technological, and military developments with each other. It was a good move from both the sides. And after that came the year 1993. 1993 is landmark in the history of relations between India and China. From this point of view, that such an agreement has not been reached yet by both the sides. BPTA stands for Border Peace and Tranquility Agreement. Border Peace and Tranquility Agreement. It was signed between the two countries in the leadership of Prime Minister PV Narasimha Rao It recognized the need for peace and tranquility for healthy relations between the two countries. 1993 BPTA, Border Peace and Tranquility Agreement. There were 9 articles of the agreement, and the key highlights of all those agreements, points of agreements, I want to present here. The first was when the two sides, both China, India and China, are face to face, militaries are face to face, there should be no use of force or threat. The first thing. The second thing was to not to overstep, and overstep means not to go further than the demarcated or agreed upon line of actual control. And when the other side objects, they should withdraw to their positions without any further confrontational attitude. The third, both the sides will jointly monitor LAC, and the differing claims where it was needed, it was the uh, when there are differences on the alignment of the line of control between both the sides, India and China, they would, the both sides would jointly monitor the LAC to know the truth and take steps further. Here, it was in this BPTA agreement in 1993, LAC got first mention. It came to be recognized as a word that was called the undefined border of India and China. Other points of this agreement were maintain minimal forces along the LAC and ceilings should be mutually acceptable. Both sides agreed that the forces, number of forces that will be deployed between the two borders, along these two borders, will be minimal. There should not be a competition of deploying forces along the borders. The, and it should be, ceiling should be mutually acceptable. Ceiling means both sides will decide what number of troops and forces presence is required along the border. And one key highlight of that is also geography should be also taken into consideration when the issue comes of for reduction of presence of the forces along the border, because both the geographies along the border of India and China, from the point of accessibility, are different. China can access its border with India easily because of its proximity with the Tibetan Plateau. The road infrastructure is quite sound and China can access border easily. India took many days. It means the forces took many days to reach the border. And this was a point in which we were lagging behind the Chinese. Then comes the year 1996. In 1996, the then president of China, Mr. Jiang Zemin, visited India, and it was an expansion of the BPTA agreement that was reached in 1993. Expansion of the BPTA, Border Peace and Tranquility Agreement. CBM was stressed in this agreement. CBM means confidence building measures between the two armies, between the two forces, India and China. There should be confidence, mutual confidence between the two armies. It specified the agreement in 1996 specified the armaments to be deployed. They specified what kind of arms and ammunition you will have along the border. No missiles, no Howitzer, howitzers, tanks should be deployed along the border. Military exercises should be contained along the border, and they should not be uh, exercised when you are confronting the other side. It means along the border, you should avoid your military uh, negative intentions, like you are showing your might, military might. All these things should be avoided. It was also one of the key highlights of the 1996 agreement. But one provision in the agreement, now note, this is a very important point here. One provision in the agreement spoiled the game because it was called that they would apply when both sides arrive at a common understanding of the alignment of the LAC. Now, these points of agreement will apply only when both sides agree upon the alignment of the LAC. It means if you do not agree where the LAC lies, and if you have your different view, you were not bound to adhere to the uh, agenda, adhere to the points of the agreements. You were free. It spoiled the game. I want to finish here, and I will make short videos from hereafter for your convenience. Thank you for watching this video.